I need four. All right, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're at, Bits and Bob's channel. People, welcome. If you come in, it's in the middle of the workday here in the United States, so I imagine I get the same idiots that are going to pop in here. I really don't care anymore. Let's call this my, I don't know what I'm going to call this one, other than the world's batshit crazy. And that's what we're going to talk about today because that's what I feel like, and that's the mood I'm in right now. It's interesting. Um, it's just interesting. Anyway, we'll get into it. So if you're the first time in, or you don't come in very often, if you see this, like and subscribe. Why not? It's a teeny tiny channel. It made me feel good, and I could use some feel good. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, over the last few days, I've really noticed something. It's sometimes it's right in front of your face, right? Things that are right in front of your face you don't see, or you see it and you just don't put two and two together. I was on another social media platform and put some comments about humanity, of all things, humanity, right? About doing good for people that we've all forgotten. We've all forgotten to do good, right? We've become self-centered. We've become uh, hypocrites. I've talked about that before. A lot of that, and it's just become our human nature, right? I'm not sure that was always the case, but that was our human nature. I'm not sure that was the case at all. That's the way we should have been. But I noticed it. I noticed it a lot on another platform. I put this post up and about we need to get back to our roots, right? Our community, our getting back with our families, retouching, getting regrouped and touching earth, touching grass, so to speak, right? And not all this other hype that gets it's become amplified, right, in um, the computer age, right? Um, it used to be we were grounded in community. We were grounded in we were grounded with family, our neighborhoods, our schools and stuff. Now there's none of that, right? It's all social media amplified bullcrap. We've all bought into it. We don't have we don't communicate with each other anymore. We don't do anything, right? Except sit on these phones. I mean, everybody. I mean, you go out to a restaurant. Everybody's on their damn phones on social media. They're on their damn phones on social media. Why? I mean, you're out with somebody or people. I've seen. You get four or five people together. Somebody's on their social media. You can walk through any restaurant. It doesn't matter whether it's a fast food restaurant, whether it's a high dollar one. It's pretty freaking amazing. We've lost humanity, and we've lost care of our fellow man. How many people are you on social media, on Facebook or something like that, with friends? And there's nothing there but hype. I mean, we all do it, right? We all hype. I went to this, or this is my vacation, and then just drone on and on and on about it for while you're on vacation, right? While you're on vacation, why? I mean, we've gotten into this narcissistic way of thinking. It's because of social media, right? I mean, is your vacation there to rub it in everybody's faces that you can go somewhere somebody else can't, or create jealousy or whatever? It's really weird. It's really, really weird that we have to post everything about our lives. I mean, people are posting about they're just grilling out. I mean, how many people on your Facebook page do you care about you grilling out all the time? Um, I mean, how many care? I mean, then you have the idiots that come in, right? You have idiots that come in to social media, and we're all used to it, right? You've ever done a live feed or something on social media, right? And they'll pop in and make stupid comments, which is really it's really telling, right? It's really telling the stupid shit. I see it all the time on here. The stupid crap to get attention, or they think that they're going to. I don't know what they're trying to think, or they're going to trigger you, or they're going to do this, or they're going to do that. Uh, why? Why? I was, I get it. I get it. I used to do it. I used to do it. I mean, it's one thing to do it when somebody is kind of trolling for it, but it's another one when somebody's having a conversation or putting something out that's there. But to come in there and just the stupid stuff, that's just that's just that's just I don't know. It's sick. It's a sickness we all have, right? It's lack of humanity. It's lack of basic concepts of caring and stuff. Manners. Maybe it's manners, right? I mean, maybe you do that at home though. Maybe you're so fucked up at home that that's you consider that normal, right? Maybe we all consider that normal now. We all slowly sink into this, right? We just see it all the time. Becomes the norm. You don't care about people that are hurting. You don't care about your fellow man. You give a shit about them. And that's about what it's like anymore. It's all about being on social media and really and telling them what everybody did. Nobody cares about what you do every fucking day. Nobody cares unless you're live streaming your whole life, maybe. But Facebook, nobody cares. Nobody cares about 3,000 pictures of your kids. I don't care how close you are to the person. Nobody cares. Why? Well, it's a narcissistic thing, right? Because I don't know. They think that everybody cares about their kids. Their kids are the cutest thing, whatever it is. And people need to call people out in a nice way. If friends or family that do this kind of stuff and say, look, I mean, that's not healthy, is it? It's not healthy. Um, yeah, Santa is real. Um, he's real based today. So, social media is just it's an interesting microcosm of fucking bullshit. It's just all bullshit. Very little of it's worthwhile. And even the stuff that's quote worthwhile is agenda size, right? It's all an agenda. It's all an agenda. Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder what's happened to humanity. Makes you wonder what's going back. You even look back 10 years ago on social media. It wasn't this bad, right? So I don't know. I don't know. I put up these posts on Facebook, right? And they were just about the human nature and how we've gotten away from being kind to our neighbors and our friends and our family. As that or as a town, a community, right? Where we used to have community. We used to have community. We don't have community. Even in small towns, there's no community anymore, right? Everybody's divided, right? Everybody has this opinion, and if it doesn't match your opinion, then you don't give a shit about people. Whether it be political, whether it be religious, whether it be any number of things, right? It used to be that you could, used to be that you have differences of opinions and be friends, right? 30 years ago, 40 years ago. But you can't do that now. Social media is dividing everybody, right? And we've all bought into it. We've all bought into it to some degree or other. Some of us are really bought into it. Look at going back to my Facebook page and this post I put. Just say, hey, let's all examine, what we're doing here and how, how we're interacting with people and how we interact with people on Facebook. It was Facebook, and the first thing I had, the first post I got back was from somebody who, instead of talking about that, wanted to prove his point, right? Make this grandstand because, he wanted to, around his worldview, didn't give a shit about the other person, the person that posted it, about maybe what their views are, but wanted to make this thing a religious thing, right? Nobody cares about your religion all the 24/7. Nobody cares about it, But when everything you do is, the type of people. It's the same with politics, right? Whatever. Everything you post, anything you post on social media, get some kind of a comment, about going back to whatever this thing is, right? Religion is really politics are the two that are big, and the type of person. It's their opinion, right? And it's fine to have an opinion if it's germane to the topic at hand. But when when all your lens is through this, these rose-colored glasses that you only see one thing, right? Like on this one, I have another guy post on politics, right? And his opinion on politics. Well, there's nothing about politics in this, in these posts that I did. Nothing. But they make it that, and it's kind of a sickness. It's kind of a sickness. Why? Why do you have that lens on that? Politics is a bad one, right? Worldwide now, right? You have to make every comment based on politics, right? Us versus them in politics. I don't know one guy that's been at it for, I don't know, since 2010, right? Everything he could post about is about either it's narcissistic, it's really narcissistic crap, or his replies are really narcissistic. He's me, I'm better, and better, or it's through the lens of his politics. I mean, you can't have a conversation, or the type of person, right? You know what they're going to say before they say it. You know what they're going to say before they say it. It's just guaranteed that it's going to be, whatever your post is, either he's going to be better than you, no more than you. Dunning-Kruger. How many people know about Dunning-Kruger? You know a little about something, and you think you know a lot more. The whole psychological thing. If you don't know about Dunning-Kruger, look it up, because Dunning-Kruger is alive and well on social media. It's crazy. I don't know anybody that's in the comments or in there. Feel free to put a comment on what you think about it. I typically don't, just kind of ramble but it's sad. I mean, millions of people now are suffering, right? And I don't know, maybe some of the pops in here is the same way, right? They're struggling. I mean, they're whatever. Then you get these fucking people, the religious people, right? And again, the type, same as the politicians, right? Everything on your social media. If you put something like the world is hell in a handbasket right now, they're gonna come back with the type of a comment. Well, because they're godless or whatever, they can't stop it, or you're in a bad place, and they say, oh, just turn yourself to God. Oh crap. And some of these people, these people, they know what your belief system is, right? Some of them, because they're supposedly your friends on Facebook, Most of them aren't. Most of them are acquaintances or business people or flotsam and jetsam that you've collected through time on the internet for whatever reason or another. Um, but Jesus Christ, I mean, it's. I don't know. I was going through something, and and they always have to. The religious ones. They're the ones that really drive my goat. Um, there's six. There have been over 16,000. It's called gods and deities since since the first recorded ones have been recorded in humanity's going back to the cave dwellings, right? 16,000. So what makes you think that your particular brand of religion, if you're religious, is the right one for me? And what makes you think that yours is the actual right one? I mean, the odds are pretty low. It is if we look at the numbers, right? I'm not trying to rip your belief system out, but your belief system isn't the next person's. And you go to, which I'm familiar with a lot, right? The Christian stuff. Then you have the Christians. Catholics aren't Christian, right? They're going to hell, and they'll let them know it, right? I mean, that's not the way religion should be. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're a Christian or Muslim or Buddhist or Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. I don't know. I know what is bad is when you're struggling, when you're struggling, and what's funny is, and nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit about what anybody else is doing. And I'm being kind of very generalistic, right? Because it's not true of everybody, but there's a majority of people that are on social media, and social media is an extension of what we're seeing in real life too. Um, they don't care. They don't care. You put out there, you know, um, hey, local stuff. I'm looking, just stuff on social media, right? Because they're supposedly your friends, right? So you use it. You're looking for a job. You try to use it to network, right? Nobody cares. Nobody responds to you. But they'll pop out. They'll pop out when they see something. They, you haven't heard from them from years, right? You just see their shit. They probably don't even care about your shit. Um, but they all of a sudden pop in, and I can tell it a mile away. They will pop in. They'll start a conversation, maybe one or two things back and forth, and then boom, it goes right into the religious crap, right? Well, you need to be saved, or Christ is the way, or you never see it for the Muslims. You never see that come out of their mouths on social media. I think it's peculiar to the Christians, right? Or maybe it's just because I'm more in tune with those people, because they're more apparent. There's more of them on social media, at least in the United States, just because of the per capita. But I mean, these people, and really, really, first of all, you're saying that, and everybody else is on that person's feed, right? You're declaring to all of them that you all are wrong, unless you believe exactly the way I believe, right? And they let people know it. But anyway, so anyway, within right away when it's going to come. You just want to win, and they hit it. They hit it with their stupid thing that they think that everybody cares about. Nobody does. They just look at them like Jesus Christ. Here we go again. And then you might not ever hear from them again, right? When they realize that you're not interested in them saving your soul the way they want it saved, and they go away, right? They pretend that they care and stuff, but they don't. They don't. It's a check mark for them. I can't remember what I used to call that. I did a blog post on that. Anyway, I mean, people that are struggling, it doesn't help them any, right? You reach out for help from people, and people that you thought were your friends, they're not your friends because they don't respond back, right? I mean, nobody does anymore. Nobody picks up the phone and calls anybody. It's all 280 character responses. And that's not good for the families. It's not good for communities. No wonder things have gotten as bad as it has. Whatever took hold, we fucked it up. We fucked it up. We let it get out of control, and nobody fights back. Nobody. You see somebody on social media, I don't see anybody, um, fighting back and saying, "Stop it." This isn't. Or I don't want to see this stuff on my feed. Let's be friends and stuff. No, they just continue on with it, and most people play with it, right? Most people are the same way. They don't give a crap. They're self-centered, egotistical. They think their way is the right way, and it used to not be that way. We used to have friends who didn't have the same opinions that you had, right? But you still were friends, right? You still did things together. Still called them. Still, when you were young, you went, camping with them, whatever. You went on trips. Yeah. Went out and had picnics with them. Played poker with them. But now, if you're not 100% like, if they're not 100% like you are, you don't want anything to do with them. And you wonder why the world's so fucked up. You wonder why the world's so fucked up. When was the last time obviously we all know people that are struggling. When was the last time you offered to take somebody out to dinner and just have a nice conversation with them? Or invite them over to your house for a night of fun, right? You got something going on, and just make sure that they're invited. Maybe you all are fucked up too. Maybe I'm reading too much into this. Maybe that's your escape mechanism, right? To do this shit. Maybe you're struggling just as bad. Maybe that's the way you're dealing with your issues. I don't know, but it sure has become a convenient way to really fuck with people. It's killing people. I mean, it is killing people. People, they, I see it here. I see it watching the people that came in. It's the same kind of group of people, right, with the same shit. You either delete the stuff or, block them or whatever. Same crap. Why? 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 Anyway. I just find it interesting. I find it really interesting. You find out who your real friends are, who doesn't give a shit, who's a hit and run. Like, I don't know. Maybe they just like the drama, right? They like whatever they do. Maybe they're sort of fucking sick or evil. There's something evil in this world. I'm not a religious nut, but we'll use evil and good in its most simplistic terms. There's something evil in this world right now. We've all bought into. I just have to wonder how many people are really unhappy. Nobody says anything anymore, right? Everybody cowers now. They're so scared to say what they think. What they really think. You see it all the time. I see it all the time. You talk about something and you want to make, you want to call out something. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Why not? Why not? Why not call a spade, right? No, you don't want you don't want to rock the boat for whatever reasons. You, you butt into this being coward, this cowering thing and not saying your opinion. And I get it because we've gotten to the point where just because you have an opinion that doesn't suit with the rest of the group, or what's become standard for the day, then you catch a lot of flack. It shouldn't be that way. I mean, yeah, if it's batshit crazy stuff, probably need to be called out for it. But just because I have a different opinion, I mean, it goes through. I mean, it's that way even politically, right? It goes that way. You look at it in our political process here with Democrats and Republicans. Even within the Republicans, they fight with each other because they don't toe the line 100% with each other, right? What the fuck? What the fuck? I mean, it's happening all over the world. You see it all over the place. If you travel at all, you see it all over the place. It's the same thing, right? You see it on the news now. How divided we are. I mean, what caused that? We're so fucking divided. One almost thinks it was about the design. You go into this conspiracy theory crap. Somebody's setting all this up, and it might very well be true, but we've all bought into it, and then we've carried it on, right? We've amplified it. But anyway, if you're watching us later on, I don't know if the feed shows people are just kind of lurking. Like and subscribe. It goes about mental health. How many people out there aren't happy for whatever reason, right? I mean, there's a lot of unhappiness out there. I mean, it's not just people that are struggling because they're. I mean, you can have all the money in the world. Look at Elon. Elon's probably not happy. I mean, you can kind of see it in his behaviors, right? His narcissism and his comments. It doesn't matter how much money you have or what your position in life is. Why is everybody so unhappy? I mean, you get it. If you're unhappy because you're struggling, right? In the best of times, it's tough. But now, fuck it. You can't win. You can't dig yourself out because of all the shit that's going on. If you're going to be in that position, do it when you're young. You have time to dig yourself out. If it happens when you're older, you can't dig out of it, right? That's why you see suicides of people in their 50s and 60s and retired going up. I'm sure of it. I'm sure it's a big reason. I don't know. And then, it's funny, you start talking about something serious like this, nobody's going to watch this, right? Nobody watches this shit because they want to see people, fail, right? In the internet, YouTube, right? There's a lot of that, or the narcissism, or just pablum, right? Pablum, what a great word pablum is. It's funny. It's gotten out of vogue, right? It's funny how words go in and out of vogue. Pablum is a great word. They named a cereal, baby cereal, after the word. Like in the 50s. Pablum. Filler. Not important, inconsequential. Just blah. Great name for baby cereal. But anyway, I'm done. I can't do what I'm doing anymore. Kind of realize that. Kind of my manifesto now. I realize that there's nothing for me. I am not of this world anymore. I don't fit in for a lot of reasons. I've realized in the last couple of years, sometimes it takes something really, really earth-shattering to kind of jar you into realizing what your life was about, how you were played, where did it start, right? Where did it come to the point where the odds were stacked against you? And maybe a lot of us aren't happy because of that. We're trying to find happiness through our life. In my case, it was pretty bad, and I'm really starting to deal with it now. Not deal with it, but call it out. I don't think I'll ever be able to deal with it. But I see where the events and what happened affected my family. Because of one person in the family. Fucked them up. Whether it looks like it or not. Fucked them up. And it affects you the rest of your life. So I guess on that note, if you see somebody abusing somebody in your family or friends or something like that, you need to call them out. Don't say, well, it's not my place to do it, or I feel sorry. And don't come at someone that's gone through something and come with your religious bullshit. The person, doesn't want it. Don't keep pushing the fucking shit. Politics, same fucking way. Politics, same fucking way. So anyway, so as for me, there's no recovery. There's no recovery. I don't know how to get happy anymore. I don't know if I can. Everybody says, "Oh, you something, keep trying, right?" Was it Einstein? You keep trying, you keep, doing basically the same thing, and you can get the same results. That's very much true. And I've been watching people come in and come out of here. What are people? What? I mean, nobody wants to listen or communicate or talk about things that are whatever they are on social media. Pay attention to people. Attention spans. There's no attention span anymore either. Right? If it's not flashy, if it doesn't have lights and bells and whistles and something, it's that kind of stuff and flashy. It's not worth your time. Our attention spans are so short now. Social media, internet, right? This, shorts, things like that. I mean, that's proven. What the psychologists are saying about our attention span. So what am I going to do? Steve World. I don't know. I don't know how much longer I'm destined in this world. I mean, every day, there comes a point where you're stress, right? Stress. I've talked about this before. Stress does funny things to a body. Maybe stress is a way of getting you out of a situation too, right? Because it does a number on your body. You're going through it for a couple of years or more of high stress and trying to figure things out and suffering per se. Things are hard. And you're trying to do things right, but there's no right anymore. Even doing the right things is horrible. School, higher education, shit. Don't ever do it. If you get in a position you want to get in a different place, don't do higher education. Go to the fucking internet and learn what you want to learn. Might as well. It's just as good, if not better. I got a class this semester that's just idiotic. I mean, nobody actually preps or nobody actually teaches or preps anything. They just throw a book up there, some bullshit that doesn't even pertain to it, and that's what a college professor calls a class now. And it's typical. I hear from the young people, from the older people that are back in school, all over the country. But if you're older, I sent out, I don't know, last count of 1,400 resumes. Nobody wants an old person anymore. Either you're too experienced, right? I mean, how do you dumb down a resume? With experience. They don't want to pay you anything, but that's another thing. But what does the person do? I think your body knows it's just shutting down, right? Stress, things not working. I think it's your body trying to tell you it's time to go, right? In a nice way. That I don't know. And then we made it so in the United States, right? They had Obamacare. There are people in the United States that can't get legal citizens that can't get insurance. If you don't have insurance, you might as well kiss yourself goodbye. I had a heart attack a year and a half ago. Can't afford to pay for it, the care, right? If I have another one, I'm not going to get care because I can't afford it. So what do? I just put more stress on me? No, just take some pain meds and let those arteries clog up, and away you go. A little bit of scare or something else that was possibly could have been very expensive to fix. I told somebody I'm not going to fix it. That's what it is, and looks like it wasn't what they thought it was. Dermatitis sucks. But had it been that, I don't think I would have treated it. Can't afford it. So, come out with $60,000, $70,000 of bills and you can't pay it. What do? I mean, everybody tries to keep the credit up, but if you're in a position I am over 2 years, right? At some point, the money runs out, and then your credit goes to hell anyway. Then you can't. Then it compounds the issue, doesn't it? But yeah, it's interesting because we don't give a shit about people anymore. Going back to this post I was talking about earlier. Every fucking time, nobody cares. Nobody cares about your religion. I get it. You believe in your religion, right? You want to save everybody's soul, but don't save everybody's fucking soul because not everybody cares about your religion. Your belief system is a small fish in the pond of. I'm talking Christians here. Christianity, all the sects and beliefs in there, and then you have the other religions in the world, and you think yours is. You can tell everybody that yours is the right one. Well, that's a big gamble, isn't it? Even if religion is real, that yours is the right one. Your sect, your beliefs in that kind of larger religion. It's fine if you believe it. I mean, for whatever reason, But not everybody else believes it. In fact, most people you're gonna run into don't believe what you believe. They're gonna say that theirs is the right one, right? Everybody says it's the right one, whether it be a legitimate religion or a cult. Same in politics, right? Hell, you see it. I mean, you see it even in sports, right? People that won't. I mean, we get to the fanatics, right? But it's the same thing, where you won't deal with people that don't like the same sports team as you like. I don't understand that one at all. At all. I can't make heads or tails of that one. But they're out there. I mean, what happened to differing opinion? I love a difference of opinion, right? Because it's cool because you can have a discussion about it. But you can't have a discussion anymore, right? It used to be you could have a discussion, right? It was kind of interesting to have a debate. But you can't have a debate today without somebody being triggered. You can't point out discrepancies or things that might be wrong with what on either side, or they're to you, without getting pissed off, right? Or saying you're not right, or they may be right. Well, there may be parts that they have that's right, parts that you have that right. Maybe there's common ground in there. Maybe there's common ground. But we don't try to find common ground anymore. We don't try to find common ground at all. I don't see it anywhere. We've gotten into our little groups, right? And we've isolated ourselves. And we've isolated ourselves within that isolated group. Maybe COVID helped make it even worse than what it was. Forced us to be that way, or a lot of people to be that way. And they bought into it, right? Because people are stupid today. They don't vet anything. I mean, how much stuff do you see on the internet that when you vet it, it's wrong, but it's just taken as gospel now? It's taken as gospel. No matter how stupid it sounds. Well, it must be true. Must be true. It's on the internet, right? It must be true because the news told me it was true. And we used to have newspapers, right? Some cities had two of them. They had like a morning paper and an evening paper. And one was a lot of times, and they reported the news about the same, right? Maybe the view was a little bit different depending on the angle they were coming from. But it was the news, who, what, when, where, how, whatever the 6 or 7 key things for a journalist. But then you had the opinion pieces, right? Editorial page. And usually, if you had 2 newspapers, one was more conservative leaning, one was more liberal. And then you did some research, right? And watched what was going on, and read magazines at the time and other things, right? Books, and forming an opinion based on the whole, not off of what your little group thinks. I guess it's group speak, right? It's interesting in itself, group speak. Orwell was right. Just a few years too early. So I don't know. I know nobody's going to watch this, so just me ranting. Makes you feel better. But sure is fucked up. Everything is fucked up in this world. Nobody gives a shit about anything. I mean, really. I mean, I'm in an area where it's supposed. I don't even get into that, but it's supposed to be this Christian area, right? They're not Christian. It's part of the whole concept Christianity is not part of being Christian today. They're hypocritical. They're inclusive. They're not, if you don't fit into their little thing, then you're ostracized. It's really weird. It certainly does. Certainly does hurt people. Instead of being understanding and tolerant and all that stuff. And I'm sorry, I'm just exhausted. I'm to the point where I don't know what else to do. And I just, we get to the point at one point where I started through this mess. Whatever happened to me recently in the last couple of years, it's really, really bad. I'm going through a real tough time. But I had a lot of optimism, right? A lot of, it's going to be okay. I'm going to do this, and this, and traditionally, this will help me out. And it sure didn't. All it did was put me behind the 8 ball more. Made me spend money that I don't have. Based on, this will help you get out, get back on your feet or whatever. And it hasn't. I spent a lot of time on it. I mean, 16 hours a day for two years, basically. Putting up a lot of crap to do it. And having to go through a lot of crap. A lot of poor crap. But that's how it is anymore. That's how it is anymore. People knew what was going on. People knew. People I thought were my friends. You find out who your true friends are. You find out who your friends are, right? And who aren't, who are there for other reasons, or watch the train wreck, or whatever, gossip. And there's a couple, a couple of them will rise to the occasion that are true friends. They understand. They've gone through the same thing. Then there's the ones that have gone through the same thing. And a lot of times they're the worst of them. I guess I get it, right? I don't know. But you couple that with the religious, then it's fucking becomes a fucking nut. I'm glad you went through something and you found religion and it worked for you. It's a crutch, right? I mean, it is. Religion is a crutch. No matter, when we get it down to its core, religion is a crutch. You're believing in something that's not provable. There's so much in that one. It's interesting when you get into psychology and all of that. But if it makes your life easier, that's fine. But they're intolerable. A lot of these people, because they're gonna tell you their whole story. Like it's a conversation, and it's not. It's coming. It's coming. They're gonna do their whole. If it weren't for God or me being saved or whatever, nobody gives a fuck. Other than you don't need to go on for hours on all the weird stuff that you just sit there and just scratch your head at about demons and I saw this and that and I know because I felt this in my heart. Jesus Christ. I'm talking about the psychology of that. Which is fine, but it's a belief system, right? Based on faith. And now they'll say it's based on reality, right? They saw a demon or they prayed about it and this happened, and the heavens opened up in front of me. Either that or there's another explanation, right? If you bring out other explanations, they won't listen to them. They won't even listen to them if you say, no, I don't believe that. This is why I don't believe that. They don't want to hear it because it doesn't fit their narrative. Whatever they want to do. In this case, it was trying to save your soul, put on one of the notch in the lipstick case. Could have that Pat Benatar, she didn't even know she was talking about religion. The religious nuts, but she was. So as for me, like I said, I don't know what I'm going to do. But it's to the point of something's got to be done. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what the next step is. But it's happening. It's whether with me, in my control. I'm just for the fucking ride now. And I don't think there's much I can do about it. I was talking. This is disjointed, isn't it? I was talking about when I started, and I had some hope for gain. It got to the point then where it's like, you want to wake up in the morning, right? I mean, you can only do so much when you're totally alone. I've been alone for 2 years, essentially. I mean, real alone. Real alone. It's like nobody, for the most part. I don't understand it either. And what's interesting is a lot of people, you'll call them, right? They'll never call you, right? But it just shows you a lot of them. They don't give a shit. They'll follow your stuff. They'll say the right things, but they don't mean them. Because the proof is in the pudding, right? It's in their actions. And that speaks loud. And I don't think any of us examine ourselves in that light anymore. I don't think anybody. Or very few people. I know a few that do. I know a few that are really good people. Most people know. Most people profess to be good aren't. Most people who profess to be good aren't. They might think they're good. Or they got a weird vision of what good is when they look up, if they're never looking within themselves. Because they're not good. Are their intentions good? Maybe. Maybe not. But good intentions, if they're done in a way that harms somebody, it's not good, right? Most of them know what they're doing, though. Most of them know what they're doing. Because you call them out with that, and they still do it, right? They still do it. They still do it. Who knows? Who knows? But who knows? I really don't care anymore. That's the thing is, there comes a point where you just don't fucking care. It just becomes a curiosity. Everything becomes a curiosity. What's going to happen next? Curious. Are you going to make it through it? Can you make it through it? How's it going to change what little you have left? I mean, you're not happy. So hope for happiness. That's kind of been kind of taken out. And I just sit here and watch. I watch these people come in and come out of here. They pop in and they pop right back out. Why? Because it's not flashy. I mean, they don't even get time to find out what it was all about. There goes another one. In and out in 15 seconds. It's that short attention span. Don't even stand long enough to make a comment or figure out what's going on. Looking for the dopamine hit. The fuck is wrong with humanity? Like I said, I don't think I'm part of it anymore. I don't think I care to be a part of it anymore. Not anymore. I mean, it's one thing to struggle. There's nothing wrong with struggle, right? Makes you better if you can get through it. But if you can't get through it, I mean, I get it. I get it why people fall into drugs and alcohol problems and other things to help cope with the bullshit when there's just nothing else, right? Which, I don't know, it compounds the problem. Get it, understand it. Thank goodness I've never been big on alcohol or drugs. I can see how it can be easy to fall into that, to numb yourself up. Because right now, being numb would not be the worst thing to do. I'm already numb. Mentally, I'm numb. Just floating. You know, which is interesting. You know, I'm on social media, right? Why? Somebody might ask, why am I on social media? Because there are a few people on social media in my circle that are important to me. They have open lines of communication with me. Or they're people that I care about that I want to keep track of. And there's other ones. Why I have them on my social media, I don't know. I don't know why anymore. I just pruned my social media accounts down a lot. And there are people under that. I had no idea who they were now. I mean, no idea. No idea. You don't know who they are. They're on your social media. They probably don't need to be on there unless you're a business, right? Business account. There went another one. Hopped on and then hopped right back off. I mean, just on and off. Crazy. Crazy. I mean, they have the titles and stuff, right? I don't know. No one wants to have a conversation. That's the problem. This is a perfect example I was talking about social media, right? It's all about drama. And I guess I could give them drama. Lord knows I could give them drama. Lord knows. Anyway. It is what it is. It's no more, no less. No better, no worse. It's just where you're at in the fucking life. And I kind of realize that the more you put on the internet, the more bravado and I've got this and I am so good and stuff, the more you're probably worse than I am. You're probably hurting more than I am. And you probably have some mental issues too, going through something. Or you're just, you've been bred in this environment for so long, it's become your persona, because you're, a lot of people are hypocrites, right? Whether by design or circumstance. I don't know. It's just really weird. Really, last couple of days when I seen these posts on my social media, the fucking arrogance of these people, the arrogance and their assumptions are just amazing. Not even assumptions; they know better. So if you're doing that, stop it. We all need to examine. We all need to have a come to Jesus meeting with ourselves once in a while, right? Redirect. Some of us, me included, probably hadn't done that in years and years and years and years and years. We fall into the bullshit. That's the trap. You fall into it and you can't get out. You don't even realize you've been ensnared. So anyway, it's an hour. Now I'm ranting and ravings, and they're getting ranty. And I just joined it just because I'm so freaking tired. I mean, I'm just always tired now. Always. Always extremely tired. But almost the second I get up, start the day. Can't find anything. I don't have anything that. All the things I used to like, they're not interesting anymore. I'm just too tired, right? That kind of stuff that I wanted to do, and it's just like no energy. Then I went another one, came in and then popped right back out. Next I got to catch. I said, "You gonna pop out too?" Oh, there's two. Let's see how long they stay. They're gonna pop in and pop out. Or they want to find out what the channel's about. We'll see. So anyway, so those that popped in talking about oh no, they didn't want to stay. 15 seconds. 15 seconds. Fucking unbelievable. Fucking unbelievable. Anyway, that's just the observations. It's just perfect. Start observing that more. I mean, I've seen it. It's, it's a perfect example. Over an hour. 15. It'd be interesting to see what the average time somebody was on when that gets populated. I'm sure it's gonna be 30 seconds or something stupid like that. Because nobody fucking stays. Nobody wants to have it's not like put something together that wasn't, a hashtag that wasn't there, right? Like win $1 million, bring people in. Fucking done. I'm done. I just don't know where it's going to end up. What's next? Just go for the ride. Let the chips fall where they may. In fact, that's what I might do. I might go let the chips fall. Put them on red. Been thinking about that. Maybe it's time to do that. And that'll make my next move. Maybe we'll just do everything by casting a dice or betting on a roulette wheel. It's probably just as legitimate a way to do it than trying to get out the way you're supposed to do it, or you used to do it. You're supposed to do it, because I don't know if that's even the case today. So if you see any of this and you're like the other people that pop in and pop out, screw you, fuck you. You're part of the problem. Maybe you'll catch part of it and you say, that sounds like me and that's not good. Maybe you won't. Maybe the world doesn't fucking care anymore. I mean, I know the world doesn't care. I mean, I should say, are we gonna ever get back to something that's sane in the world? People will recognize it because they aren't right now. On these podcasts and stuff, I had one guy pop in there, and he just assumed it had nothing to do with politics. Nothing to do with politics. But that was his first comment. It was about politics. I had to correct him. This isn't about politics. What? And he kind of self-corrected. But the other people that were on there, the religious ones, they saw that conversation, but did they self-correct? No, because they did the same thing down on some other posts. I know that's not too. Just weird. Just weird. Up there, another one. In and out. In and out. So I'm out. I just stop this shit. Maybe it's just time to shut this all fucking down. It's not helping anymore. I mean, I started this channel a long time ago just for my mental health. And see if it would help me. I don't think it has. I don't think it has. Maybe it's time to just shut it all down. Shut it all down. I mean, I won't notice it, right? Nobody will notice it's even gone. For the most part. Anyway, that's it. Have a good day. If you're a normal, regular follower of this is struggling, this channel, thanks for being here. And I hope your journey is going better than mine. I hope somebody that used to be on here that I know are still subscribed to it, but I don't, you don't comment anymore. I hope your life got better and you just moved on. That'd be nice. Who knows? We can hope. We can wish. We can think. So, have a good one, everybody. Have a good one. Try to make something of this day. Try and make something of this day. The energy to do it, though. There went another one. In and out. Fucking crazy. I just all day long. I ought to do a long form one and just watch this. It's amazing. Fucking idiots. Fucking. Now that once you see something, you can't unsee it. Pay attention to it. Well, thanks for not leaving comments. Thanks for not sticking around to see what it's about. Thanks for not asking questions, I guess. I mean, there's a chat there. So fuck it. Have a good day. Bits and Bob's channel. Morning, noon, or night, wherever you're at. May you have a good day, evening, whatever it is. And those that are along for the ride of the channel, the 315 of you, 317 of you. Thanks for subscribing for whatever the reason is. I'll talk to y'all next time. Have a good day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're out.